You are listening to the We Are Cousins podcast, a podcast that focuses in South Texas and northeastern Mexico genealogy. Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the We Are Cousins podcast. Today, we have Welster Alvarado with us, and we're only going to talk about the We Are Cousins conference that's coming up this September 15th through the 17th. Now, and this is for 2021. If you're listening to this in the future, just go to WAC-037 to get the latest information on the most up-to-date conference that's going to be happening pretty soon. But before we get started, I want to thank Las Vías del Norte for sponsoring this episode. Las Vías del Norte Genealogy Group helps you find your ancestors by providing you with online presentations, how-to videos, and publications so you can leave a legacy for your children and their children. Make sure and visit them at lasviasdelnorte.com. Once again, that is lasviasdelnorte.com. And now to our conversation. And with that, good morning, and hope you're enjoying your coffee. And Wellister?
Good morning. Here's to you and me and to everybody that's watching. Coffee, it's gonna get us started, right?
And this podcast episode is just focused on the We Are Cousins conference, and I think it's a great way to feature what's coming up. And I'm gonna show you guys. Well, for the ones that are watching this video on YouTube, I'm gonna show you guys the conference website, the We Are Cousins group, and we're going to talk about the speakers, the schedule, and how you could sign up and what to expect from the conference. And if you're listening to us, I'm going to try and be as descriptive as possible. But if you just go to We Are Cousins and go to podcast and look for session, well, for this podcast titled We Are Cousins Conference, just click on it and you're going to have the link there to the YouTube video. Highly recommend you watch it if you have time. If not, audio is perfect. And with that, Wellister, let me share my screen so I could show everybody the We Are Cousins Facebook group first.
Sounds good to me.
As most of you know, our official website is wearecousins.info. And you're going to be able to find over 1,000 blog posts there, a lot of resources to books. I post a lot of family records on my personal family and my wife's. But guess what? The further back I post those records, you're also going to find them in your family tree. So just be on the lookout for those. The official We Are Cousins Facebook group, you're going to be able to find it on facebook.com/groups-WAC group. And this is what you're going to see. When you enter that, it's going to take you to our Facebook group. And this is the We Are Cousins Facebook group. And in total, we have 6,400 members. And since we're talking about the conference, I'm not really going to focus on the group, but just tell you where you're going to be able to find the link to the conference. I set it up as an announcement. So if you're using a desktop computer or a computer, right, you just log into Facebook and then go to the group, and you're going to be able to see the flyer for the conference. You just click it and it'll take you to our conference website. Now, if you're doing mobile, go to your announcements once you're in the group, and you're going to be able to find the link there. And also in the group, we're going to be featuring all the speakers several times and their presentations. That way you make an informed decision if you really want to attend the conference, or if you're actually, if you see a topic that you want to learn more about. That's going to be great. And this year, Wellister, and everybody out there, our presentations are more genealogy focused than anything else. They focus a lot on methodology, but we're going to talk about all of them right now.
Okay, great.
And I'm going to click there, and it's going to take me to the second annual We Are Cousins virtual conference. And our tagline is a genealogy conference to grow your skills, because that's basically the focus of our conference. And the great thing is that it's focused in South Texas and northeastern Mexico genealogy. So everybody that attends, guess what? your distant cousins or distant primos, since we're all related basically from 5 to 8 generations going back.
That's exactly right. We found here in Monterey between 1 and 7, so 8 generations is about right. One way or another, you're going to end up connecting with each other.
So to go to the conference website, just type in on your browser wacconference.com, or if you go to the weirdcousins.info website, you're going to see a top bar that looks just like this. And weirdcousins.info, the top bar is actually baby blue, and it has a big button there, sign up. And I highly recommend that you sign up before May 31st, because right now the early registration price is $99.95, and starting June the 1st, it's going to go up to $124 with 95 cents. So I highly recommend that you take advantage of this deal.
And it's well worth it.
So back to the conference website. We do have a bar on the top reminding you that early registrations can end. Then once the regular registration starts, we're gonna change that to the early registration and when it's gonna end. And to learn more, you could just scroll down the website, and here you're gonna find why we believe that it's important for you to attend. We're basically gonna have 20 plus experts in over 3 days, and we'll teach you strategies to show you resources that you can use to both improve your genealogy skills and find more ancestors, no matter which stage of your genealogy journey that you are at. You know, even if you may be struggling to keep track of your research, need to learn how to use timelines in your research, looking to add more resources to your genealogical toolbox, you're gonna learn all that. And you know, meet your host. I'm actually gonna be your host. I'm gonna be the one behind the scenes, moving everything and playing everything, make sure everything's working right. And here you're gonna be able to find more details. And basically the details is that our conference is virtual. We're gonna pre-record everything. That way, when those 3 days of the conference come around, we don't have any technical difficulties to try and get the presenters to press the right button to be able to present. That would just take a lot of time. So we're pre-recording, we're editing the videos, removing little errors here and there and making them better. And you know, you can expect all presentations to be 40 to 45 minutes, and they're all going to be educational based.
Excellent.
You may find some that will be information based, but you know, whenever you listen to any presentation, doesn't matter if it's a conference presentations, I always think about, like, have it in your mind, how can I apply this to my own research? And basically just sign up, right? And then on September 15th through the 17th, just log into the secure website area, and you're gonna be able to enjoy the presentations.
You know, may I add something here? The most simplest advice is monumental when you don't know anything. So all the beginners, before they get into the genealogy world, basically are wondering, how am I going to get started? What am I going to do? And if I find it, well, how do I do it? And there's so many factors that are confusing. So it actually stops people from getting into it. But I used to have a partner in the salon industry that used to say, it's only easy when you know how. So here you're basically going to show them step by step and exactly how to get into it, which is really, once you know how, it's simple, and you can grow from there.
Well, we'll get more into that when we talk about the presenters and each presentation. But you know, I'm going to tell you about 3 reasons why you should attend our conference. Basically, we have over 20 speakers that will provide you with plenty genealogy tips, resources, and more to help you build your skills and help you find more ancestors. Also, it's very convenient. You can watch this event live or later at your convenience. View multiple times after the event to catch details you may have missed. So starting on September the 18th through November the 30th, you're going to have access to other recordings on the website to rewatch whatever you missed. You know,
that's excellent.
because we understand, like, we have very busy lives. You know, the grandkids may come over, or you may be teaching at school, or you may have a job that doesn't let you have 3 days off. You could watch the presentations whenever at your own pace. And I know a lot of other online conferences, you have to pay extra for that ability, but you know, I don't believe that that should be the case. And best of all, you could do it from the comfort of your own home. You could watch it from home. You make yourself your own breakfast during lunch. We break up during lunch. And, you know, you could eat at home, or you could just go pick up something up, or have something delivered now to your house. So it's very convenient. And, you know, we have a list of our speakers, and I have them by date. If you go to the main website, wearecousinsconference.com, I'm going to tell you all just the name of the presenter and the title of the presentation. We're going to have Henrietta Martinez Christmas, and she's recognized nationally throughout the United States for her presentations. And the title of her presentations can be Women in Colonial Spain. Then we have Joy Oria. She would do a presentation titled Snapshot in Time, Your Family in Spanish Colonial Censuses. We're going to have Jean Wilcox-Hiven, Applying the Principle of 3 to Genealogy Research. And if you want to know more about that particular presentation, go to the WAC-conference.com, WAC-conference.com, look for her and read the description. It's very interesting. And then we're going to have Lori Castillo, Unique Resources for Texas Genealogy Research. And then we're going to have Nefi Arenas, who's no stranger to our community. He's going to talk about From Huachipan to Nuevo León. And the description of his presentation is also very interesting. And when I say the presentation is very interesting, that's just to me personally. You know, but all of them are very interesting. You're going to be able to see the descriptions on the website, and there are going to be some presentations that are going to call you out, you know, that's what you want to listen to. Now we're going to talk to our prima, Irma Salinas Holtkamp, who's also one of the moderators for the Weird Cousins Weird Cousins Facebook group. And her presentation is titled, How to Make the Most Out of Your Ancestry DNA Matches. And I know a lot of us have tested with Ancestry DNA and don't even know what to do once we get our results. It's perfect presentation for you. And then we're going to have Christine Cohen, and she's going to talk about cousin baiting and cousin stalking. And basically, you know, basically the title sounds weird, but basically it's about how to approach people to network with them, especially when you're related to them. So that's going to be also interesting. And then we have Chani's Luti. How do I keep track of my research? And it's important to do so because you don't want to research the same ancestor on the same places. You know, and you're just repeating over and over again. Her presentation is going to be excellent to help you manage that. Then again, the following day on September the 15th, other ones I mentioned right now were for September the 15th. Now, September the 16th, we're going to have again Nefi Arenas, and his second presentation is titled Jewish Roots in Nuevo León. And I know there's a big interest in our community, on the Weird Cousins community, for this type of presentation. Then we're going to have I got her name wrong. Hold on. It's Lori Castillo. I got to change it on the website. Sorry, guys. Her second presentation is titled Newspaper Research in Texas. And, you know, and she's going to focus on Spanish and English newspapers. That's something that a lot of us don't know. There were some Spanish newspapers published in Texas. And then also we have Dave Gutierrez, who's no stranger to the Weird Cousins community. He's actually a member also. And his presentation is titled Military Records and Genealogy Research. But I just want to emphasize the military records research is going to be focused in the US and Texas. It's not going to be about Mexico. So that way you get an idea of what military records he's going to be talking about. Then we have also Mauricio Gonzalez, who's a member of the Weird Cousins community and no stranger to us. He's a professor out of Laredo, and his presentation is titled Families of Nuevo León. And it's going to be about his latest book, where he talks about finding the ancestry of his mother. But his books are packed with genealogical information. And knowing Mauricio, I know this book goes back very far back in Nuevo León. So you may be related to him too. Then we have a second presentation by Henrietta Martinez Christmas. And this one is titled Utilizing Timelines in Your Research. So it's going to be very helpful. And also we have Marty Puentes. And I know he's no stranger to Las Vías del Norte. He's a member of Las Vías del Norte and has had presentations for us in the past. And his presentation is titled Online Resources for Mexican Genealogy. So that's, if you're brand new to genealogy, that's going to be a perfect one for you. Then we're going to have John Small, who's recognized for his Native American research. And the presentation that he's going to be doing for us is titled The Settlement of the Rio Grande, Nuevo Santander. And it's going to have a focus on Native Americans. And then we also have Colleen Robledo Green, who's no stranger to our community, also a member of Las Vías del Norte. And she will be talking about taking a closer look at immigration records for your Mexican ancestors. And then on September 17, we're going to have Ricky Reyes. And I know if you guys have attended other conferences, Ricky Reyes is there. And he's going to talk about Native American genealogy, the memory of water. And that's something I didn't write on the title, but he's a great speaker and you're going to love his presentation. Also, we're going to have Leslie Carney. She presented for us last year also. And she's also a member of the Weird Cousins community, a member of Las Vías del Norte too. And her presentation is titled Rest in Peace, Finding the Dead. And then we have Colleen Robledo Green doing a second presentation for us. And it's titled The Academic Library and an Untapped Resource for Family History Research. And then we have Christine Woodcock. And her presentation is titled Creating a Life Storybook. In her presentation, she'll provide suggestions on what to include to do when you do a family storybook, what a family storybook is. And she's going to provide us with many examples of the ones that she has made. So it's going to be very helpful for us to make life storybooks so we could preserve our genealogy, you know, and even our current family photos too. So it's going to be very interesting. And then we're going to have Christine Cohen do another presentation for us, and it's titled Online Cemetery Websites. And then we have Ada Luke Nelson, and her presentations can be using online resources for remote Hispanic research. And then somebody that almost everybody knows in the Weird Cousins community is going to be Arturo Cuellar, El Primo, like I like to call him. And he's going to be talking about marriage dispensations. And then we have Lisa Medina, and her presentations can be titled Tracing Ancestors Through Revolutionary Mexico. And finally, well, before all of our speakers, our keynote speaker is going to be Dr. Carolina Castillo Krim. You know, and what she's going to be talking to us about, I have no idea. It's going to be a surprise. So, you know, that's what the keynote speaker is. And we don't have it here. I'm going to have a surprise presentation, you know, from one of our members of the Weird Cousins community, and it's going to be about DNA. But we haven't really formalized anything. So hopefully that will be just a bonus presentation for all of you. And with that, that's it. On that same page, you could read what our members or attendees from our past presentations had to say about the conference. If you want to get an idea of, you know, what you're going to get out of it. Also, we have frequently asked questions on the website. I'm not going to go through them here, but I highly recommend that, you know, if you're interested in the conference, go and sign up before May the 31st, so you could get that $25 off from the regular registration price of $124. And Wallister, what do you think about these speakers?
You know, as I mentioned earlier, the fact that they're going to show you step by step those tips of all the years that they've been working in genealogy and all the trials and tribulations that they've had to suffer and make errors, which like I did. And now you have someone who's going to show you, basically grabbing you by the hand and walking you through those important tips that are going to open up your whole new world. It's going to be like the first conference. I mean, that was incredible, a plethora of information. So yeah, I think these speakers are going to help everyone tremendously.
So in your opinion, which ones stood out to you? Which ones do you want to go and watch?
I'm probably going to watch all of them, but the storybook. I mean, you know, we're all visual, so here you've got some way to motivate the rest of your family, even the ones that aren't interested, because 99.9% of the family, they're not interested, and there's always one like you and me that, you know, it makes us go crazy. So the storybook for me was really, really interesting. I like the cemetery and the newspapers. In LA, there's a newspaper that it was called La Opinión, and that was like the Bible, you know, for all the Latin-speaking people. LA Times and the Herald Examiner were the major ones, but the La Opinión was right up there with those big boys. So there's so many that I'm gonna have to go to all of them and see which one I can, you know, take out the most information that's going to be useful for me. And I think that all of them have something for everybody.
You know, and something I want to mention to the whole community. I just mentioned the names of the presenters and the title of the presentations. Now, if you go to the conference website, which is wacconference.com, and you click on speakers, you know, you're going to be able to read a biography of each of the speakers that I just mentioned. You know, I didn't mention any titles that they may have because since the beginning, I don't want to keep it that formal. But if you read their biographies, you're going to find out that a lot of our speakers are professional genealogists. Others have been doing genealogy research for the longest time. And, you know, and we also have a lot of them that have their PhDs in their respective fields. So these are people that know their stuff, you know, and I don't want to say that we just choose them like that, but, you know, we just choose by the title of the presentation and the summary of the presentation. We don't look at the credentials that they may have. And I want to say that and emphasize that because if you're listening right now or watching this, if you have an idea for a great presentation and something that has never done before, you know, we would love to get a proposal from you. Don't be discouraged that just because, oh, I don't have a PhD or I'm not a professional genealogist, I don't have anything to teach somebody. No, everybody has something to teach somebody. So for our future conferences, go ahead and submit your proposals. And we just base it on the title and on the topic. So that's something, but because last year I got some emails, well, what type of speakers are they? Are they professionals, this and that? And I just kept on referring people, go look at their descriptions of their summaries. And most of them would tell you what credentials they have there. That's something I want to point out. And once you're there on the speakers page, you could read their short biographies or read more, and it'll take you to their own personal page. Like let's do Dave Gutierrez for an example. You click Dave's read more, and you're going to be able to see the picture that we share of him on Facebook, and that you're going to be able to see in the Weird Cousins community in the couple of coming days and weeks. And you're going to read more about Dave, his presentation information. And guess what? He had one for the first Weird Cousins conference, and we also mention it here and how you could get access to that type of that presentation also. So that's about the speakers. And now the schedule. If you want to know exactly what's going to be on each day, just click on the schedule, and we have it very easy for you here. We have the dates by date, and then we have by title and presenter. And if you click expand, you get a little synopsis or summary of the presentation. And right there, you could also go to their speaker page if you want to learn more about each speaker. Now, if you want to see who the speakers were last year, you could just click on 2021 conference speakers. And if you do, you're going to get a list of all the speakers for 2021. Now, if you click on who were the conference speakers for 2020, you're going to get a list of all the speakers also. I just got to update some of their images to look like these ones. But other than that, now something I want to talk about, if you want to be a vendor or sponsor, if you're a member of a genealogy society and want to have a virtual table here promoting your society, this is the page where you're going to be able to go register on the vendor. Now, if you're a sponsor, you have a company and you want to be promoted, and if you want to have a shout out on the conference program or in the beginning of some of the presentations, you could also become a sponsor. And other details are there if you click on view our sponsor plans. But I'll send out an email to everybody about that. Now, if you have any questions that we didn't cover in the podcast or you don't see on the cover or answered on the website, go to contact us tab and fill in the information, send me a question, and I'll reply to you personally. Now, after all this, hopefully you're all excited to sign up for the conference. And the way to do that is just click on the register tab or on any of the buttons that are scattered throughout the website which says register. And we have 3 different passes. And the reason for this is because we're not all the same. And some people just require the minimum, others want more. But the basic silver plan, which is the conference pass, it'll give you 1 pass and access to recordings of presentations for 60 days after the conference. Also, free PDF conference program. All you do is just click register and you get registered. Now, if you want access to the conference and the archives pass, which means all the previous presentations that we have recorded, you would sign up for the gold conference and archives pass. And basically, it's the same as the silver one, but you get access to 24 additional archive presentations from last year. And access to them from September 18th through November the 30th only.
Oh, that's excellent.
You know, and we have this other option because I got some emails. Well, I want access to everything all year round. Well, if that's the case and that's what you want, we have a platinum all-year access plan, which is $199.95. And it auto renews yearly for your convenience. But you get 1 conference pass for this conference, and if it auto renews next year, you get another pass for the following conference. And basically, that's the only difference between these conference passes. So if all you're interested in this year's presentations, just get the silver one. If you're interested in this year's presentations and the past ones, get the gold one. Or if you just know you were going to attend the conference like every year, no matter what, just get the platinum and you're all set. But basically, that's it. That's the whole website in a nutshell and the conference that's coming up. As you can see, we have a great lineup of speakers, great presentations. When you log in, you're going to be able to see your dashboard and you're going to have the dates already there by buttons. You could click on them and you'll see a countdown like this one telling you when that conference or that day is going to start, the presentations for that day. We're also going to have, and once a presentation starts, you're going to be able to expand them on your screen. You're going to be able to chat. There's a chat there that you could access. And the chat was very useful last year. Everybody was asking questions. Everybody was adding resources related to the presentation. You know, and it was something unexpected, but at the end, attendees wanted the transcript of the chat. So what I did, I saved it every day. And then it took me about 1 or 2 days to edit all the private messages that people were sending me. I edited them out and then I put them into a PDF, and each one was about 40, 50 pages of the conversations and a lot of resources that were posted by the same attendees.
And so, you know, it was one thing really interesting that was valuable was that you met people that are well into the genealogy world, and they you became personally connected with them, and a lot of them connected afterwards. They made a new friend, a new contact, a new source.
Yes, and that's the thing. You make new friends, and besides the chat, right, and that you're gonna be able to get those transcripts because it was 40 some pages per day.
Wow.
In total, attendees got about 160 pages of transcripts with a ton of resources and links from the same community, which was amazing. I never even expected that. And another thing that we're gonna have this year during conference days, and we haven't decided if afterwards, but during the conference days, we're gonna activate an attendee directory. Of course, your information is gonna remain private. We're not gonna show nobody's emails, but you're gonna be able to like, hey, I want to send Wellester a message because I connected with him. You're gonna be able to go to the member directory, search for Wellester, and send them a private message through there. And then when you do that, Wellester's gonna get an email and he's gonna be able to respond to you. And that way it's for networking purposes.
Right.
And so after the live conference is over, we're probably gonna deactivate that. Also, on the dashboard, on the bottom, we're gonna have a happy hour links. So after the day's over, around 6 or 7, you're gonna be able to click there. You're gonna be able to join through Zoom, I guess, and network with each other. And last year we did it. Everybody had a drink or something. We're just there talking about genealogy, and I got the same experience that when I attended a live conference by doing that. So, and I know you attended one of those, Wellester.
Yeah, it was actually fun. It was informative, and the new friends, as you put it, was for me, a treasure.
And those are the things that we're gonna have for you to network with other people or whoever attends. And I'm actually very excited for that conference. Like I can't wait to see some of those presentations myself. And
we think that we know everything until we start hearing other people talk about their adventures and their work, and all of a sudden something clicks for us that makes us leap and bound some new information and new sources and new additions to your tree. No, I just really want to emphasize the fact that not to be afraid to enter into this world, because in the beginning you're walking into a dark room, and yes, I did that, you did that. We walked into a dark room, didn't know what to do, where to go, how to do it, who to do it with, and so forth. And all this information that you're giving them basically is going to get them from walking into a dark room into walking into an open salon where everything is visible, everything is like I said, handheld and walked through step by step. So I encourage you to at least do the minimum silver and get in and pick and choose the ones that you want, and then the ones that already know how to do stuff, go into the gold and platinum. Because even though I've been in this for, wow, I don't know, 20 years or something, I'm still learning and fascinated by what I'm learning, because I thought, wow, that was like really interesting. How come I never thought of it? But there it was. I mean, that's what's going to help you go even further and deeper.
And
register.
Even if you think that you know everything, guess what? You're going to pick up one little nugget from each.
Exactly. That's a nugget. That's a good way to put it. It's a gold nugget. Absolutely.
I highly recommend this to anybody. You don't have to not waste money, but don't have to spend money on a hotel and transportation, and food. You don't have to eat at a restaurant all the time. So when you go to a live conference, it's great. And I highly recommend that you do it at least once in your lifetime. It's an experience, right? But those conferences could run up into the hundreds of dollars to the thousands of dollars, depending where you live at.
It's true. And it kind of takes the shine out of your star, when you have to spend a lot of money to get some information. And then you're absolutely right. I mean, this is in the comfort of your own home. You can wear a shirt on top and shorts underneath, and no one's going to know.
And guess what? If you want to talk to somebody and you miss a presentation, that's it. It's gone. You're not going to be able to watch it again.
That's true. Very true.
That's a difference that this conference is going to be able to offer, whoever attends. And even myself, like, hey, I remember I watched a conference about this. Let me go rewatch it, and I'll watch it again. And then, okay, I remember that website that they mentioned or that resource that they mentioned. So it's very
true.
And and last year, since it was the first year, we didn't even require our presenters to submit copy the slides or their agendas. So now this year, we're giving them a little extra incentive so they can submit it. And a lot of them agreed that they will submit it. So what we're going to do this year differently, basically, those agendas are a recap of whatever the presentation is about, and we're going to include them on the last half of the conference booklet. So the conference booklet is going to have all that information, besides having who the speakers were, probably an article or two that I'm going to write for it. And the descriptions, by date, it's going to have all those agendas there for the conference. That way.
Oh, that's great.
That way, when you lose access to the presentations, right, November the 30th comes by, and if you signed up just for the regular pass, you're going to lose access to the presentations, but you're still going to have that PDF booklet for you. And I highly recommend you sign up, download it. Right now, since we haven't created it, if you log in, you're going to be able to download last year's conference PDF. So I highly recommend log in, download it, and then I'm hoping by September the 10th or September the 1st that we're going to have it ready. That way you have 1 or 2 weeks before the conference to read it over and, get more information and see what it's going to be about. That's what I'm hoping to do. But depending on the agendas, if they're going to really kind of spoil the presentations for you, we may just release it on the day of the conference.
Uh-huh.
We don't want to have it spoil the presentations for you if you read them.
No spoiler alert.
Or just don't read it until after the presentation. And with that, Willister, that concludes this podcast episode. I want to thank you once again. I know we usually have a guest and we interview them, but I just wanted to share that we're having the Weird Cousins Conference, because last year, as the conference was going on and after the conference happened, I kept on getting emails. Hey, nobody told me about this. So, when I post something on Facebook, only like 3% of the group sees what I post. That's how Facebook does their metrics or what they do.
Oh, boy.
So it's very important to get the word out.
Yes.
If you're listening to this podcast and you're not interested, but you have a friend or family that's into genealogy, go ahead and send them over. Tell them about the conference. It's always more fun with friends. Once you see those familiar names in the chat, you keep on sending them messages. Hey, hi, how are you doing? And I know I did that last conference from people that I've actually had the pleasure of meeting and honor of meeting in person.
And you'd be surprised that there were people that lived literally in the same block, and they didn't know that they were family. I mean, it's amazing. It's crazy, but it's really interesting.
And with that, thank you all for listening to us or watching. And here's my mug again. And thank you all. Until next time.
See you later. Ciao, ciao.
And that's it for our podcast. I hope that you enjoyed our conversation. And also, I want to thank Las Villas del Norte once again for sponsoring this show. And encourage you to go visit Las Villas del Norte at lasvillasdelnorte.com. Remember, Las Villas del Norte provides the same benefits that a genealogical society does, but on a digital platform. They have newsletters, monthly video presentations, and a lot of other great stuff. Please go ahead and visit them. And thank you. Until the next time. Thank you for listening to the Weird Cousins podcast, a podcast dedicated to South Texas and Northeastern Mexico genealogy.